All right. So great to see y'all. Let's get started. We're actually waiting for two more people. But yeah, we're gonna get started anyways. Okay, so welcome to Pilates. No one brand new to Pilates tonight, so we're gonna get right into it. Get on your mats. Actually, let's start on the ground today. Make sure your head's on the mats. And we're going to start with our breathing, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. If you have hands on your chest and your abdominals, you don't have to, they can be down here. But if you do have hands on your chest and abdominals, you'll feel your chest rise as you inhale. And you'll feel your abdominals flatten down as you exhale. So just find a nice, slow, steady pace of breathing, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Now you're obviously going to feel some movement in both every time, but you want the emphasis to be on the chest or the rib cage expanding as you inhale. And then you want the exhale to be mostly from the abdominals being recruited. You want to try to keep your head and neck aligned with the spine, looking up at the ceiling as much as you can. Now let's think about the imprint. So our hands are still on our stomach. Inhale through the nose. As you imprint, you're going to feel your tailbone lift off the ground as your lower back sinks down into the mats. So a little bit more abdominal recruitment. And then on the inhale, we're going to come back into neutral. So you'll feel your pelvis rock back, tailbone on the floor. Exhale, imprint. In fact, if you want both hands down near your pelvis, you'll feel that movement happening in your pelvis. Exhale the imprint, tailbone up, lower back down, inhale to neutral. Go ahead and take our hands down by the floor, imprint the lower back, and bring the legs up to tabletop. Knees are bent at 90 degrees, and we'll try to keep them at that angle as we tap out the feet. Maintaining imprint. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. So there's a lot of abdominal recruitment here to maintain the imprints. We're trying to keep the neck, shoulder area without tension. So hopefully you aren't like greatly pressing down to the floor at this moment, creating a lot of tension in your arms. By the way, if you want to play music at your place, feel free to do that. Anything you'd like to listen to while you do Pilates. One more time on the second leg. And then if it feels okay for your lower back, you can lower both legs at the same time. Still trying to keep the knees bent at 90 degrees. Exhale to lower, reinforce the imprint. Inhale to lift. I'm keeping my feet about hip distance apart. They're moving in a synchronized fashion, but my legs, my knees, my feet aren't touching each other. Last one, lower your feet all the way down to the ground. Here, your feet are a little far for shoulder bridge, so keeping my feet at hip distance, I'm just going to slide my heels in towards my butts. Inhale, come to neutral. Exhale, imprint the lower back and slowly roll up into your shoulder bridge, reaching those knees away from the shoulders, finding length in the front of the body. Inhale at the top, exhale, slowly roll down. If you spent all day sitting in a chair, at a table, or at a desk like I did, then Pilates is feeling really good right now. Inhale, exhale. I want to try to get some mobility in your spine as you articulate up. Inhale, and then articulate, moving one vertebra at a time on the way down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, Exhale, rolling down. Keeping the glute muscles, your butt muscles engaged until your tailbone hits the floor. And then last time. Good, ab prep. Gonna reach toward my heels, nodding the chin, lifting the head, neck, and shoulder blades. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale. To protect the neck, just keep the chin tucked, look towards your knees. You will be imprinted as you crunch your way up. Abdominals flattening down into your spine flexion. Good. From here, we're going to lift up our legs to tabletop. You can bring your knees and feet together for this one. And we're going to segue and slowly move into hundreds, where we're going to stay lifted in the upper body while we pump our arms. So if your palms aren't turned down, you can turn them down, facing downward. And if you want to keep your legs here for hundreds, you can. You can straighten your legs on the diagonal, on the vertical or on the diagonal. So go ahead and lift up and let's pump those arms 100 times. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. Exhale. 20. Inhale. Exhale. 30. Inhale. Exhale. 40. Inhale. Exhale. 50. You can always bend your knees or change the angle at any point. You can make it more vertical. You can make it less vertical. We're at 70. Inhale. Exhale. 80. There's no rule that says once you pick a leg position for 100, you got to stick with it for all 100 counts. Last 10. Inhale. And exhale. All right. We're going to flip over onto our stomach. So we work on spine extension. Okay. Always like to start the first spine extension of the day with forearm assistance. So keeping the elbows on the floor, we gently press into those forearms, keeping the chin slightly tucked. It's like you're articulating your spine off the floor, except you're not lying on your spine anymore. Head, neck, and chest are lifted as one unit. Imagine like you're wearing a neck brace. That doesn't allow you to look up or look right or look left. Just hold your head in perfect alignment with your spine. Good. If you don't feel like you need the assistance and you want to open up your chest a little bit more, you take those arms behind you. Reach toward those toes, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Same position of the spine, same position of the head and neck. So nice low hover with just the top part of the rib cage coming off the rim. And last two. And last one. Inhale and exhale. Forgot to talk about the breathing there. You can actually breathe either way for the spine extension. So just giving yourself a little stretch. All right, before we turn around again, I'm going to have us do the plank. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders. Really straighten and reach one heel to the back of the room, almost to the point that you feel a nice calf stretch. And then stretch the other calf. Once your feet are situated, then you can start to kind of play around with your hip height. Maybe start a little higher and see how that feels. If it feels okay, you want to get your hips to about shoulder height, which is the ideal position for a nice neutral body position. That allows your abdominals to do its most amount of work without hopefully any pain or strain in the lower back. If your hips go a little too low, you'll start to feel less work in the abs and maybe a little bit of pressure in the lower back. Keep breathing, inhale, exhale. Not only are we squeezing our abdominals, we are also squeezing our butts and our quadriceps, so that muscle right above your kneecaps. Let's take one more breath. Are you tired of looking at your thumbnails? Okay, then we will come out of our plank and come to our seated position. So inhaling to lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, draw the abdominals in, start to create spine flexion, and just come halfway down. Relax those shoulders away from the ears. This is your half rollback. Inhale as you come forward. You can keep a curve, a C curve, or you can try to lengthen again. Exhale. My arms are reaching forward for counterbalance. Keep your eye gaze straight ahead. Exhale. Dig your toes down into the ground to anchor them there. If your toes are flying off the ground, you probably lean back a little too far. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And add some arm variations here on the next one. Let's go ahead and circle our arms, get some range of motion. So taking the front arm, I'm going to sweep it down. I'm going to reach it back. I'm going to reach it up. And then I'm going to start to sit up as my arm makes its way around. Now with the back arm, I lean back, halfway back. I'm going to get to a stopping point with my spine, but my arm continues. And then as my arm makes its way back towards the front, I lift my spine up. So exhale here, half roll back, arms keep going, and then inhale. Notice I didn't specify how big the circle is. You can reach as far back as you like. Open up that chest a little bit to the back of the room, and then forward. And you don't have to move your arms at all. You can keep them right where they were. This is, we started the initial workout, or this exercise. So one more time with the back arm. Good, let's roll on down nice and slowly. Good, I'm going to keep my knees bent. I'm going to use my legs, shoot my heels out as I roll up to give my abdominals a little assistance. Inhale, arms reach to the ceiling. Nod the chin, lift those shoulder blades. And then right here, as I'm starting to crunch up, it's a little, I'm getting a little stuck, but if I shoot my legs out, add a little bit of momentum, but I'll be able to roll up. Here you can keep your feet flexed if you really want to stretch your calves, but this should be a nice calf hamstring stretch. Inhale, rolling on back. Anchor the heels, strong in the legs. Try not to have the legs pop up. So after you articulate your way down, you can drag your heels in. Good. And let's start the movement again. Inhale. Exhale. Stretch. Inhale. Exhale, roll down, shoulders down away from the ears. It's a very slow and controlled motion here. We're really trying not to use momentum, only if we need it. If you want to keep your legs straight for the full roll up, you can. We'll do about 3 more. I'll keep my legs extended for these next 3. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders, exhale, spine. I say spine because it's the arms, head, and shoulders that are coming off the ground, and so therefore it's the spine that comes off the ground. But what you're really doing is using your abdominals to get your body off the ground. Last 2. Ideally, we're looking for the same slow pace, not really trying to speed up, not really trying to slow down. Just maintaining a nice flow that works with my breath. Inhale, exhale. When I'm ready to inhale again, I start to lean back and then I exhale. All right, let's do our ab series. Hands fully adjusted, so we're ready for the ab series. Okay. If you want to keep your head down, head, neck, and shoulders down the whole time, you can, or you can lift it up. Lift it up here. All right. Extending one leg out. I'm going to have you alternate between pointing and flexing today. So you can pick any angle you're extending the legs out. Exhale to reach, inhale, switch, exhale. So we're going to exhale, pointed for 4, 3, not exhale, reach out, 2, and 1, and now flex for 4, 3, really reach the heel out, 2, and 1, let's point again, 4, 3, you're still breathing, 2, 1, and flex for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing for the obliques. Point for 4, 3, shoulder blades off the ground, 2 as you rotate, 1, now flex, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale through midline, exhale, inhale, point for 4. Doesn't this totally distract you from what you're doing and you don't realize you've done 16? Flex for 4, 3. It actually really helps me count. I should do this more often. Good. Now double leg stretch, point for 4, and in, 3, to any angle you like, 2, try to keep those shoulder blades off the ground, 1, and then flex, really reach out with the heel. You should feel the difference in your calves especially. And the more you reach high, it does a little less work for your abs, but it's more of a hamstring stretch. Was that 4? Okay, let's point again. So more of a hamstring stretch if you go more vertical. But again, a little less abdominal work. 2, 1. So normally you guys know we don't do this many reps of anything. We usually just do 8. 2, a little more challenge. 1. All right. Stop for a moment, lower your head, neck, and shoulders. We're going to do scissors, but in a slightly different way. Normally we scissor like this. I'm actually going to have you start with your feet vertical. You can hold on to one leg, but try not to yank too much on it. We're going to do an alternate leg lowering. So only one leg is moving as opposed to a simultaneous switcheroo. Okay? So keep your toes pointed, lower front, and lift. Doesn't go all the way down. Down and lift, recruit the abs, down and up. Really try to keep the other one vertical, down and up. Now flex the feet, lower and lift, inhale. Now you can exhale on the way down as well, or inhale on the way up. Either way, just keep alternating the breath. I'm gonna lift my head, neck, and shoulders up, point my toes again. Keep alternating the breath. Only one leg is moving down and up before the other one moves. Now flex the feet. You can keep your head, neck, and shoulders down if you want, or you can keep them up. Last 2 drops. 2 and 1. All right. That's our abdominal series for today. I'd like you to rest your abdominals by flipping over. Okay, so let's stack those hands underneath the forehead, which gives our spine muscles a little more resistance, a little more work it has to lift up against gravity. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. I'm keeping the tops of the feet on the mat for now. Good, now I'm gonna add the legs. Just one at a time though. So I'm going to lift the front leg, only the front leg nice and straight, and lower. Inhale, just the back leg. Front leg, back leg. Now I'm going to add opposite arm lifts. So one hand will stay to my forehead. So as I lift the front leg, my back arm will extend. So this is the ending position. I still have my other hand at my forehead. Now return the leg down and restack the hands. Now I'm going to lift the back leg, my front arm comes forward, and my other hand stays glued to my forehead. Good. And then return. Try a couple more. Opposite limbs, extend and straighten. And then return, stacked hands, leg lowers. Lift, inhale, exhale. 2 more times on each side. And last one. Good. All right, push back. Give yourself a little stretch here, spine. We're going to go into another plank. This time I'm going to be on my wrist. You can be on your elbows. We're going to once again work on this pointing and flexing of the feet here. So the wrists are underneath the shoulders, or your elbows are underneath the shoulders. Reach your heels to the back of the room. Really flex the foot. And then the other. Good. So here's foot flexed. And then if I push into my toes, I'm pointing. You don't need to get all the way on top of your heels though. So you don't want it to be uncomfortable for your toes. But you should have a range of motion in your ankles and in your shoulders. All right, if this is a lot for your wrists to kind of bend forward that way, you can start back a little bit more so that when you come forward, your shoulders are slightly behind your wrist and then they're over your wrist versus over your wrist and then over towards your fingers. All right, so feel free to find that adjustment. And then what we're gonna do is with the foot flexed, you're gonna lift one leg flexed, you're gonna point both feet. See that? Rock forward, flex, and lower. Lift the other leg. Both feet are flexed, one is in the air, both legs are straight, quads engaged. Rock forward, point, flex, rock back, and lower. Now just keep alternating the breath. You can inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So inhale, lift, exhale, forward, inhale, back, exhale, lower. All right? Don't worry so much about which breath pattern you're doing as long as you're breathing. Lift, flexed, point, rock forward, flex, rock back and down. One more time on each side. Doing great. This is a tough plank exercise. Okay. All right, so if you're on your arms, your triceps are probably really working. That's kind of the one benefit of being on your wrist sometimes, is just feeling a little bit more muscles engaged in your arms and your shoulders. But doing it on your elbows is still a really great workout for your abdominals. Okay, and you do still feel it in the shoulders. You're just not going to feel it in your triceps because your arms aren't straight. Wow, why do I feel breathless from doing that? I shouldn't be. So we're doing our butts. We're not doing our butt. We're going to do a glute exercise. All right, so this is what we did in our warm-up here. Just make sure your feet are far enough away from your butt that you can lift with full range of motion to a neutral position, and your feet should be hip distance apart. I know you can't really tell from the camera angle, but my feet are hip distance apart. So, a couple things we're going to work on here. We're going to lift only one leg, but I'm also going to have you challenge yourself to have the arms off the ground. Okay? So this is protracted, retracted. We're trying not to be protracted. So the more you can sort of press your shoulder blades down into the mat, the better. It helps you anchor your upper body since we just removed the arms. So just try this a couple times. Hopefully you won't feel like tipping over, but then again, we still have both feet on the ground. Squeeze glutes and your abs. Okay, so let's start with a march. So as you go up, lift one leg, and then drop everything. As you go up, lift the other leg. So this is your march. Marching is alternating your legs. Good. It is going to feel a little more challenging to the abs now that one leg is coming off the ground, a little less stable. But there's where you really, really want to recruit, well, not this butt, the butt that's on the ground. the leg that's on the ground. Okay, now we're gonna just focus on one side. So whatever leg you have right now lifted, keep going. Down and up. Keep that leg up. So overloading the one side, the glute muscle on the one leg that's still on the ground. Last one here, and let's switch. 8 on the other side. Oh, sorry, keep the leg up. 2, 3, 4. Give me 4 more. Inhale. Exhale. Press into the foot. Squeeze the butt. For 3, 2, and 1. Go back to the first side. And you can keep your leg in tabletop if you like, or if you want a nice hamstring stretch, calf stretch, you can point or flex your straightened leg, okay? For 8. You can keep your knees bent too. For 4. 3, pushing hips up on both sides. 2. All right, let's switch. If you had your legs straight on the first side, I encourage you to have your legs straight on the other side for symmetry. Keep gently pressing your shoulder blades down. You don't need to forcefully jam it, but you just want to resist the urge to really lift your hands up to the ceiling. 2 more, I think. All right. Quick break while I explain one final thing. We're going to move an arm. And the idea behind this is if your hips are lifted and you move an arm, it does take a little bit more coordination, but it kind of changes how your body is feeling symmetry-wise. But also, when you lift your arm, sometimes it forces us we want to like pop our rib cage or arch a little bit more. And the idea is that you keep everything in neutral even though you've moved an arm. Okay? So if we get back into position, so I'm going to drop my front arm, but it's not resting on the ground. It's actually still engaged. It's close to the floor, but not lying on the floor. And then we're going to lift the opposite leg. All right, are we good here? All right, down and up. Oh, sorry, we got to move the arm. Oh, I'm moving it the wrong way. It's this way. Give me one more. Okay. So switch legs, lift the butt, drop the back arm. Front leg lifted, back arm dropped. Okay, from here is as we drop the butt, the arm lifts back to vertical. So a way to think about this is that your arm is almost like pulling your butt up, pulling your butt off the floor, even though your arm is pulling towards the head and your hips are going north or up. So just a little bit of coordination, a little bit to think about while maintaining all this strength in the core and midsection. All right, one more here. Okay, enough of that. Enough of our butts. It's a little bit more abs. All right, so first we're going to do our rolling like a ball. So rolling like a ball is one of those things, one of those exercises where it can seem like a very pointless exercise if you use a lot of momentum. So I like to start by being on the floor in a very sort of dead stop. So you can grab your shin, and if you wanted to sit up, you would initiate that by crunching. So I lift my head, neck, and shoulders, and I crunch toward my legs. But I didn't make it up, so I'm basically going to rock back a little bit and initiate a rocking motion. And every time I fall back, it's because gravity has pulled my shoulder blades back. And every time gravity pulls me back, I fight it by bringing my shoulder blades back off the ground by crunching my abdominals. And now you're in full rolling like a ball. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, balance on the tailbone. Inhale, fall back. Exhale. I really do mean that you're kind of falling back. Gravity pulls you back. Exhale, crunch. Imagine you're scared to fall back. So the moment you start to fall back, you instinctively use your abs to crunch your way up. Inhale, exhale. Even if you start crunching right away, nothing's really going to stop you from rolling all the way back to your shoulder blades. Once you start falling, it's not like you can stop in the middle. Even if you start to crunch your abs. So better to crunch it a little sooner than later, because if you go all the way back and you don't crunch at the right timing, then you're kind of stuck. Okay? All right. Finish up, find your balance on your tailbone, and we're going to do some work here. So you can take your feet about hip distance apart, and you're going to extend. If you need to, you can put a toe on the ground. So you extend like this. But see if you can try it with your legs off the ground. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale to extend, inhale to bend, keeping the roundness in your spine, abdominals engaged, shoulders relax from the ears. Let's try a few with our foot flexed. Flex. Good. Can you reach your toe? Oh, it's a nice stretch there, right? Okay, and let's try a few double leg lifts. Don't worry if you don't extend your leg all the way straight. It's not what this is about. It's about the balance, about keeping your abdominals recruited. Exhale, reach. It's always a little more stable if you're in a V, so feet are apart as opposed to together. Exhale, inhale, last two, and last one. You'll notice that I often default to pointing my toes. It's just what's common in Pilates. All right, let's flip over. Ooh. You know, I exercise quite a lot, and the thing that hurts my back the most is sitting still in a chair for like 8 hours. So I think that like it makes a lot of sense that if we are sitting for long periods of time without moving, that it's more painful to our back than to exercise and move. Anyways, I'm not saying that because I'm biased. It's what I'm experiencing. All right, so we're going to do full-on swimming. So that's where all four of our limbs are straights, and we're going to move them in opposition. Now, if you want to gently tap the floor, you can, or you can keep all four limbs just off the mats and kind of pulse it. Now, when we do full swimming, we actually breathe in the same way as hundreds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I said we breathe like hundreds, but we're not going to do 100. Not on our stomach, not far back. Okay, so let's do some hip work, outer thighs. Oh, let me see what's going on with the chat here. Yes, agreed, Julie. Everyone should set a timer for every 2 hours to get off their butt and move if they are working at a desk. Not that I did, but I should. Okay. I will listen to my own advice from now on. So lying on our side, I want you to make sure the hips are stacked. So this is, if you can see my hands, this is called the hip hike. My hip has moved up toward my head, and my top hip is a little above my bottom hip. So that's the hip hike you want to avoid. And then I'm about to fall on my back, which is great because it means I'm in the right position. I'm lying straight and just on my side, which makes it very unstable. So having my top hands, the fingers, as a kickstand, is helpful. So braced abs, strong straight leg, no higher than the hips. Starting with toes pointed. Inhale, exhale. You can also exhale to lift, inhale, lower. As long as you're alternating breathing, I'm good. So here we are targeting the outer thighs, the muscles that stabilize our pelvis. Make sure your kneecaps and toes are facing forward. That's your neutral position. I know we've done a lot of these, but generally this is our warm-up exercise, so we can do a lot of these and not feel it too much, hopefully. So let's flex the foot a couple times and lift. You should feel that heel reaching away from your head. Good. So we're going to start circling our leg, and you can do that either pointed or with a flexed foot. My circling is slow. The circle is small. I'm still keeping my leg in neutral position. So I'm facing you guys. I should always be able to see my kneecaps and all 5 toes. See right here, if I externally rotate, you can't really see my pinky toe anymore, and my kneecap is facing up. That's what you want to avoid, is the external rotation. Reverse direction. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This should be excruciatingly slow so that it feels excruciating. Yeah, so we're done. Hold the top leg still, bring the bottom one up to meet it, lower both. Inhale, just the top leg. Exhale the bottom, lower. This is called staggered leg lift. This is sort of the standard series of sideline leg lifts. Kind of goes in this order as well. Just kind of flows one into the other. At any point, if your foot cramps, you can do everything with your foot flexed. So here I flex my feet. Good. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Let's keep the legs together and lift both at the same time. Again, as long as you're alternating your breath, inhale to lift or exhale to lower or vice versa, that's good. You're going to feel a little more in your obliques here, simply because both legs are lifting. All right, hold both legs up. Scissor. One goes forward, one goes back. You should feel very stable in the upper body. So you don't want to scissor so imbalanced, like where one leg goes way more forward than the leg going back. And you don't want to move so quickly that your body's like a flailing fish. If a fish was on land, it would be flailing. So that's what you are trying to avoid. Move slowly so you can feel the balance. All right, we're gonna do a couple extra. So go ahead and bring your feet together. Top leg is gonna flex the foot. And we're gonna pull it forward. So if you've ever done a front kick in kickboxing, you would do what's called a chamber. Like you lift your knee forward and up to prep, and then you kick it out. So that's kind of what this looks like right now. And then you're gonna kick it away from your head. So let's try this again. You pull it forward, you should feel your abdominals, and like, we're not gonna let it fall, right? And then you're gonna extend the leg like you just did a front kick. Don't be afraid to use your hand. Abs are still working. Bend, and then press through your heels like there's some really heavy object that just doesn't want to budge. You got to engage all the butt muscles you can to make that object move. Pull it forward, press, kick forward, pull it back in, press and kick away. The more you can use your imagination of resistance, the more you will feel it in your legs. Abs here. Hamstring stretching a little bit. In, exhale, press. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, press and kick. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, extend. One more time. Hopefully you feel in your legs. We're not just going through the motion. You really want to think about contracting the leg muscles and feeling the work. Okay, rest it. Get out of the way. Bottom leg lifts. Flex the foot. I feel inner thighs more when my foot is flexed, so I'm choosing to do that version. You don't really need the top arm kickstand anymore because the bottom leg, the top leg has become the kickstand. Exhale, lift. Again, this leg lift, keeping the toes and kneecaps facing forward and neutral. It kind of feels like just a warm-up movement. So really what is the work is when we do little circles. So lift your leg, bottom leg up at the highest you can lift it and make little circles. Inhale. Exhale, one circle. Inhale for the third circle. Exhale for the fourth. Two more. And reverse. And that's it. That's it for the inner thighs. Oh, hopefully you felt it though when you made the small circles. It's kind of a pulsing motion. And now we're going to switch. Push those hips down. Align your body to the straight line. Lift the top leg. I'm going to do, about 8 or 10 with the toes pointed. And then some with the foot flexed. So I can't emphasize enough how much I'm constantly reaching my toes toward that far wall. There isn't a moment where I don't feel this extension in my body. Like I'm always trying to create more length. I'm 5'2" and I just always want to be taller. So I'm really trying to make myself taller by lying horizontally on a mat and stretching myself. All right, let's flex the foot and reach the heels. So just feel that lengthening through the top of your head. So my quads are engaged, but I'm just reaching. Okay, let's make those little circles. I'm going to point my toes again. And the whole time I'm making these tiny little circles, I'm still trying to reach toward that wall. Like I really want to draw on that wall. Good, reverse. So if you make your circles really slow, really small, and just keep your leg muscles engaged, you should really start to feel the fatigue by the time you've done 6 in each direction. I can't just speak for myself, but I could leg lift forever, it feels, but then once I start these circles, it just immediately starts to burn. All right, staggered, lift the bottom, lower both. Inhale, lift the top, exhale, squeeze, and lower. Lifting the top leg just a parallel, you don't want to lift it too high because then the bottom leg can't meet it. There's a little bit of inner thigh work right here. Even though we haven't really focused on the bottom leg too much, here is where you first start to work your inner thighs a little bit. And the next time you feel your inner thighs is when you squeeze your legs together and you lift them both. So that's what we'll do now. So as I squeeze my legs together and lift both legs, yes, I'm working these obliques, but I'm also, because I'm squeezing my legs together, my inner thighs are engaged. Imagine someone's trying to pull your legs apart right now, and you don't want them to. So you gotta really not just lift your legs, but you're also squeezing them together. Or you can imagine you have a lot of $100 bills between your feet and you don't want to drop it. Okay, so now we've got our scissors, so we're gonna lose all the money between our feet. So this one's, again, challenging because both legs are off the ground. You're gonna feel it here in your obliques. Hopefully there's no tension in your neck. Everything up here, waist and above, should be pretty relaxed. Your abdominals are engaged, but above that should be mostly relaxed. Okay, so we've scissored, and now we're gonna do our kicks, or our sort of our heel presses, or bend and extend. So many names for these. These are all just very descriptive. Let's bring our leg back. You are gonna rely on your kickstand hand, but it doesn't mean your abs get to relax. So I'm gonna flex my foot, lift my leg to hip height. It's gonna stay at this height the whole time. Bend it forward. I'm still at hip height. Kick or push forward. Feel the hamstring. Stretch, bend, and then push and extend to that far wall. Good. And ideally, you just want your leg about parallel the whole time. Yes, we are moving in very slow motion. Inhale, knee bends. Exhale, press. Imagine the resistance you have to press against. Inhale, knee bends. Exhale, press that car away that's in neutral. So car wheels, car tires can turn, but it still takes a lot of force to press or get it to start moving. This is so slow that I can't count because I forget what number I'm on because I said it so long ago. Okay, let's do 2 more. I wonder if I ever watched one of my videos and I just sat there and counted reps, how off I would be from one side to the other. Hopefully we feel the same kind of burnout on both sides. I'm really feeling it. Okay, let the leg rest. Bottom leg flex, lift. Imagine there's resistance. There's something heavy on your foot. In order to lift that heavy object, you got to engage the inner thigh muscles and the quads. Now, I've never done Pilates with ankle weights. I know people have done it before. I'd be very careful about it just because it does change. We don't normally have a lot of weights at the end of our limbs, so it does change how your body recruits muscles, and more is not always better. So if you do ever consider using ankle weights in Pilates, I would start with 1 pound. All right, so let's make some little circles. Lift it as high as you can. Try to keep it at the highest point as you circle for 6 times in each direction. 2. The whole time that I'm circling, I'm still reaching my leg out toward the far wall. Good, reverse for 6. 5, keep your leg straight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, goodness. What time is this class supposed to end? I started at 6:30. Oh, so we should be ending in 2 minutes. Oh, geez, it's so hard to keep track of things when things are not happening on a normal schedule. All right, well, since I got to end in 2 minutes, let's do some teasers. Hopefully that's okay with everyone. So I just do like 5 teasers. So inhale, arms are gonna reach toward the ceiling, nod the chin, exhale, extend those legs out, roll the spine up, find balance on your tailbone, inhale, and then exhale, reach the legs out, roll down with control. Good. So our teaser is similar to our roll up with our legs up. Inhale, exhale. Teaser also combines the rolling like a ball. So notice this is our rolling like a ball in position. Inhale, exhale. 3 more times. Inhale, arms, head, neck, shoulders. Exhale, legs and spine. Find your balance here. Inhale, exhale, reverse the motion. So the legs extending outwards is all about the counterbalancing for your torso. So ideally you want this to be very smooth. I was kind of pausing just to talk about the breath, but it goes inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. All right, let's stretch. Well done with Pilates. Oh, I know you guys couldn't hear that, but my hip just popped really loudly. It just sounded so loud, but I know you guys couldn't hear it because the Zoom microphone's not that great. But anyways, this is a really nice stretch. I always like rotating across, taking the opposite arm to the outside of the leg. This also allows for spine twist. So the main problem about sitting still in front of a computer or a desk for a long period of time is that your body gets stiff. It just sits and doesn't move in one position. And more than likely, we're slouching. And I usually don't sit for this long in front of a computer, but I'm taking this real estate class, and I guess I could stand up while listening to the lecture, but I don't for some reason. So then I noticed my back really hurt after the first day. So ideally, the more we can think about moving our body during class or standing up, stretching. I mean, I do go to the bathroom, but I guess not enough. So that is the advice I give all the time and the advice that I myself did not even take. Well, thank you so much for joining me for Pilates.